Well, hi everyone. Thanks for viewing. Okay, so it's your girl Loadaspice, and today we're just gonna talk about Nurse Onboarding 101. You got that right, you heard that right. Now, this that I'm talking about is whenever you're gonna migrate, some of the things that will be done and must be done, and they're different oftentimes from your home country, because remember now US is a whole different culture. It's made up of different people from different background. However, there are some things that are the same for everyone throughout. And one of that I'm going to talk about is that the process whenever you're going to get a job. And for nurses, it's no different, right? It's no different. It's the same thing. So whenever you get a job in the US and as nurses migrating, you are going to do a drug test. That's a must, right? That is a must. A drug test is a must. So look out for that. They're going to pull your urine, they're going to pull blood, draw bloods. Hi, Mikey. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, so they're going to pull your blood and they're going to test your urine because they want to check. Because what happened is that in the US, drug use is a high incident situation, right? The use of controlled substance is very prevalent in the US. That was a big culture shock for me when I came because I didn't know at all. So, in the Caribbean or back home or wherever you're from, wherever, Philippines, wherever, the use of drug is not so common. Them have to say that we're IRA, everything nice. Yes, the stress level is not so much, right? But here you find out for some strange reason, maybe it's a stress, maybe it's how, it can be crazy at times. The use of controlled substance is very high. You have a very high incidence rate. And because of that, no matter what job, nursing for us, the same thing. You must do a drug test when you come. So I'm going to give you a little story. When I just came, like I'm going to say here, so I had to go back home. And I'm not joking because what happened is that because of everything when I just came, my menses started and I was having some terrible cramps. So I had with me Panadine. For those of you who don't know Panadine, Panadine is very commonly used back home in Jamaica, right? So I came up and I didn't have the prescription with me, right? And Panadine has controlled substance, which is pethidine and Panadol or Tylenol. In the US, they tend to say Tylenol. They don't say Panadol. We use Panadol back home, but it's the same thing, Tylenol. So it's like Tylenol, aka Panadol for us Jamaicans, and pethidine, and it's in common tablet form. So I was having terrible cramps, and I remember the next day we're gonna do some onboarding for my job. Remember, I just come up. So I said, you know what? Let me, I went to Vegas, drop off my son. I come back down because I came up with my son. But we'll talk. We can talk about later on with carrying children and migration, right? How you go about doing that, and some little ideas. So I dropped my son off in Vegas and came back to Florida where I was gonna work. And then the following day, so with everything, I came up, then I dropped son in Vegas, and I came back down to Florida. So the next day was onboarding. So they said we're gonna do drug tests. And lo and behold, cramps, menses come, I guess all the stress. So I said, let me take my Panadine and go to my bed because we have onboarding the next day. Kid you not, I went, thinking everything is fine. Look at Panadine, right? Jamaicans, look at Panadine, right? Look at Tylenol. Anyhow, when the results came, I was in class doing orientation and I realized, the people who were in charge, they called me and they were like, call me out of class. And they were like, it was said that you had controlled substance in your urine. I was like, oh yeah, not making much of it. Because like I said, we don't even do drug tests to go to UA or whatever back home that much. I don't know if they start doing it very popular now for, regular job, but we don't do drug tests, right? Back home. So, I'm like, yeah. They were like, well, do you have a prescription for it or to show that it was prescribed? I was like, no, I don't have that with, but then I realized the people them like they were, a little bit serious. So I said, you know what, let me stop joking this though. So I was like, no, and they're like, well, you need to show proof or have proof because remember you come to work and if you don't start working or not working, then you might have to go back home because we need to prove why you have controlled substance in your urine. I was literally shocked. Remember, by this, I have my son, left my son in Vegas, Both of us came up. Left my son in Vegas. I was like, ooh, what shall I do? I had to call back home in Jamaica and figure out, get help to get a copy of this prescription for the Panadine to show proof. Otherwise, they were ready to send me back home. I kid you not. So, yes. So, because controlled substance is an issue here in the US, it's a pandemic, literally. Look out for a drug test. If you're on any drugs whatsoever, no matter what it is, you must walk with your prescription for proof when you do this drug test. Okay? And thanks, guys. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that you like my eyes. Thank you. Appreciate. And for those of you stopping by and just checking in, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. Thanks for the views. I appreciate you. Yeah, so drug test is a must when you are a nurse or anyone. Once you're going to work in the US, look out for the drug test. All right? You can't someone ever tell you. And if you're on any controlled substance, anything, you're not supposed to using any marijuana unless you have, it's a state that marijuana is okay for you to use. Otherwise, you better get that out your system or have proof, because you can use marijuana or cannabis, right? Marijuana, cannabis, the same thing. You can use it, but if it's a medical reason, then they will allow you to, and they will overload. Like I said, whatever it is, you have to have a reason why you have it in your system. If you don't have a reason, they can terminate you. They can terminate any possible employment and, refuse to employ you or continue with the onboarding process. And if you're a migrant, they can actually send you back home if you can't get proof of the reason why you have whatever substance in your blood. Okay? So that's one. Number two is that whenever you come, they're going to take you for a social security number. They're going to help you to get your social security number because you need this. This is how they're going to able to report your taxes. Because remember, once you come and start working, Uncle Sam needs his money. Remember that. Uncle Sam always wants his money, and that's in the form of tax. So one of the first thing you're going to get onboarding is your social security number. You'll be helped to get your social security number so you can have your taxes being paid, because that's a must. So whenever you're going to file for your tax, you can file for your tax for that year later on. So social security number is a must. And please protect your social security number. It's not a number that you're going to walk and display and show to the world, because you have something called identity theft. But that's another thing. We can talk about identity theft another time. But when you get your social security number, it's not something you want to go around parading or showing to Tom, Dick, and Harry. Okay? Oftentimes, you just need to know it and use it as necessary as you go along, but not something for you to put on display ever. People can steal your identity with your social security number. And I'm just sharing this, like I said, as a migrant, you need to know these little things. The third one is they're going to do a background check. That's a must. And all of these things, we're not used to it. Maybe from where we're from. If you're from the islands, nobody ain't doing no background check. You're employed, you're employed. No drug test, no background check, none of those things. But here, a background check is a must because you have people from all over the world. It's a melting pot here. You don't know who is who, if Tom is actually Tom or if Harry is actually Harry and not maybe a serial killer. And that's just an example. So a background check is a must when you're entering the US for a job. Just expect that, right? Even when you're migrating or somebody found you, they're going to ask for a background check. Okay? And that's number three. Number four, which is going to be the final one for today, number four, is a fingerprint. They want those fingerprints in the system for their data, right? That didn't say data. So my Jamaican piece, I didn't say data, right? Data. They want to have all these records in their database. God forbid something happen. You may be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they call and they want proof to make sure it wasn't you. They can pull up the fingerprint or whatever it is. It may not necessarily be anything bad, but they want those fingerprints, because remember, we're going into technology era, right? And as much information they can collect on you and have it in their database, It makes it their life easier if, God forbid, something happened down the line and they need proof or whatever it is. So let us run back through them. The four things for today that we spoke about that is a must, that once you migrate and you're going into a job or going to work, whether you're a nurse, doctor, Indian chief, lawyer, judge, whatever it is, look out for the drug test and remember to have your prescription or proof why you're on whatever drug it is. If it's a controlled substance, if it's like your hypertension, blood pressure tablet, your diabetes tablet, your heart tablet, those are okay. Those are not controlled substance. But we're talking about our opioids or pethidine or morphine and all of those control that crack, cocaine, yeah, all of those are the things that not supposed to be. They want to make sure you're not highly dependent on these things or a highly functional drug addict. Look out, they're gonna want to know, right? So whatever it is, make sure you have proof why you're taking it, right? So that's one, drug test. Remember, two, your social security, they're gonna help you to get it, right, once you come up in a job. Three, a background check is a must. And four, your fingerprint, right? They want to make sure they get everybody info in their database so it makes your life easier later on, right? Lots of immigrants. US is a melting pot, big, with 50 states, easier for them, right? So look out for that as a migrant. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. And one other thing is, let me know, please comment below. Do you think my videos are too long? Do you think they're too short? What topics you want me to talk about, right? What topics would you like me to discuss and talk about more? Like, let me know. Drop the comment below. Okay? And to all my viewers, thanks for joining. Mikey, big up yourself. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Just thank you all, okay? And we'll talk soon. On my next episode, I have one of the popular topic that I'm going to talk. The last time I spoke with, because I always talk to nursing students, nurses, everything. And, she was telling me about her whole experience as a nursing student and, a little bit lamenting, and I felt the need and I encourage her because I'm telling her that she'll never regret the fact that she has become a nurse or these moments that she's studying to become a nurse. I told her just hang in there. But I'll give you some ideas, like for nurses who are doing like the pathophysiology, those very heavy tests and heavy course. I have some insight. So for the next one, I might feature some of those. So like the pathophysiology, the pharmacology, there are just some common things that you just need to know to get over those hurdles with those courses. Trust me, it may seem hard, but it's doable and it will be all worth in the end. So the next time I see you, I'll give you a little insight on that. Okay, and Rhea, big up yourself. I'm dedicating the next video for you, right? And your little groups or your little crew or your little nurses mate, just to give you guys some idea. Because I've done this many years ago, and I can tell you I have an idea what to exactly study for with some of these tests and nursing courses that you're doing. But I don't want to let the cat out the bag. So when I see you next time, we'll talk about it. All right. So take care of y'all, self and Mikey. Thanks for stopping by.